of weeks ago, I had an email from a young man from Oakville. His name is Cem Torun, and he has developed something really cool and really great for the environment and great for raising awareness. So, welcome, Cem. It's really nice to meet you virtually. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about yourself. You're going to school at Western, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, yes. First and foremost, thanks so much for having me on, Pam. Really excited to be here and just kind of share what I've built. A little bit about me is currently I'm studying computer science and business at Western University, just over in London. I grew up in Oakville, specifically went to high school in Oakville and now reside in Oakville. I actually went to White Oaks, so White Oaks graduated in 2017, and yeah, studying now I'm in university. And that's kind of a little bit about me.
So you've developed something called Neutral Browser Extension.
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah. So I guess before I get into exactly what it is, I'll kind of have a lead up of why we built it.
Sure.
So specifically in COVID, now too, we rely on e-commerce so much. Like Amazon, for example, I know before my friends and I, we used to shop on Amazon all the time. And now in COVID, all those effects have been amplified. But shopping online, while most of the time it is free shipping, the cost is there's an additional hidden cost there, and that's the cost of the environment. Of all the time, whether it's the shipping, the distribution, the actual production, or the eventual destruction of the product, has a lot of CO2 emissions. Amazon emits over 15 million tons of CO2 every single year. So to kind of combat this, what me and my friends built is a browser extension that shows you the carbon footprint of your product when you're shopping on Amazon, and also lets you offset that purchase donating to an NGO, essentially fighting the climate crisis right from your shopping cart. And that's on a gist, that's what neutral is.
That is because I think sometimes people forget that shipping isn't really free.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I had actually never used Amazon before COVID. I
Mhm.
am one of the few in the world, I'm sure, but there were just some things that, like I needed. The stores were closed, and that was the only way to get it. But I think it's something I remember somebody saying to me many years ago about that we were actually talking about the trade agreements that had come into place and how shipping from overseas, from China, for example, the environmental cost of that when you take into the transportation costs is actually quite high compared to shipping within Canada, for example. So if I buy a shirt made in Montreal, the environmental impact of that is much smaller than buying that shirt made in China and then shipped here. So what what inspired you to do this? I mean, were you just sitting around one day and you and your friends said, okay, well, how can we make a difference? Or what inspired you to do this?
Yeah, I think a lot of kind of the team and I, my friends and I, we were all kind of passionate about climate change. We kind of did little things here and there. Some were vegetarian, some made sure to recycle. Not every, some of us, like at least our parents, drove electric cars. It's nothing like too crazy, but we all were passionate about it, and we wanted to kind of help other people be passionate about it too. For a lot of people, like they want to be better, they want to kind of support the environment, but sometimes those decisions aren't easy, whether it's kind of the high fixed cost of buying an electric car, or the kind of extra time it takes to maybe compost or recycle, or the kind of lack of awareness when it comes to shopping online. So a lot of people want to do better, and that's kind of where this inspiration came from. We actually built this at a hackathon, which is kind of like, imagine like a coding competition, pretty nerdy, but we ended up building it there. And after that, people were so excited about this. We kind of demoed it there. People saw it live. We were like, this is so cool. And after that, we were like, okay, we need to build this. People want this, and it's kind of, and it's good for the world. It's good for the environment. So we thought we need to build this. And that was back in about February and March. Since then, we kind of wrapped up school. Some of us were working in the summer, but here and there now a bit full time, at least going before we go back to school, we've been working on it and trying to make it as useful as it can be for just everyday people, people who are busy but want to do better and want to kind of support the environment.
So there's no cost to add it on to your browser, right? You
Mhm.
you so you can actually do this, and at the bare minimum, it raises awareness about the environmental impact of shopping online.
Mhm.
So that's one component, but then you also can purchase offsets, right? And so you're having an environmental impact, but I think you've planted over 400 trees based on the offsets that have been purchased, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe tell us a little bit about how that works.
Yeah, I think this kind of ties into our vision for Neutral. So first, what we wanted to do is inform people and kind of show them, be transparent about their impact, which Amazon might not tell you, which like suppliers might not tell you, is an estimate of the impact of buying this purchase. So that was the first goal, to be transparent. The second goal is to allow people to act on those actions, because it's great to know that this kind of product emits 40 kilograms of CO2, but it kind of feels deflating if you can't do anything about it in the moment. So that's why we added offsets. So now, if as you purchase, you can upload money to your wallet, and then as you purchase, you can select NGOs to offset that to, and then that money goes directly to the NGO. And then the next thing that we want to do, which is kind of building on that, are to work towards changing people's habits and to kind of make them more sustainable, whether that's partnering with different environmental organizations, specifically like whether it's an environmental kind of clothing company or an electronics company, working with those kind of companies to help people purchase these kind of products is kind of the next step that we want to do. So essentially in 3 phases: increase transparency and inform people, and then kind of help them act, and then kind of hopefully eventually shape their actions for the better.
And so who are the NGOs that you've partnered with when you check out then?
Mm-hmm. So right now we partner with this website called the Golden Standard. Essentially, they have a list of hundreds of initiatives that people can donate to, and they're kind of certified. They work with the UN, so they're a certified NGO, and we kind of allocate the money towards them. As of now, we have limited options in terms of which NGOs you can donate to. All the money goes to the Golden Standard, but we've only listed one of their initiatives currently, but we're definitely looking to expand and let people choose where they want their money to go.
That's really exciting, and I know I've become more aware myself about trying to purchase Canadian designers, for example,
Mm-hmm.
or Canadian clothing, because Canadian made clothing is more expensive to buy, but it actually reflects the real cost of
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And there's also less environmental impact when we're doing that. Same if we can all try and buy local, right? Buy
Yeah.
local onions, buy local strawberries, all of our food. There's a huge cost to shipping those strawberries from California. And
Yeah.
um, so what's the uptake been so far on it?
Yeah. So as of now, we have about 700 users. So
That's
we have
great.
700 people across the world using this. To date, we've offset over about 120 pounds of CO2, and we've been growing rapidly. So like, what's super exciting to me is when someone joins us, and then we get an email being like, "This is so awesome! Like, I didn't know this," and that's part of the issue here. It's like people don't know. Even if you just download it and don't put any money in and don't offset, you're still doing better. And that's what I think is kind of the overall message of joining the fight against climate change. One person can't do it, but if everyone can do small actions every day, every week, and then grow those actions, we're helping people take that first step into being more environmental. If you've never kind of thought about kind of sustainability, just download Neutral and see what it looks like. Just learn a bit more about your impact. If you're still getting into it, if you never thought about e-commerce in this way, download Neutral and kind of see. Then if you have some spare change, and usually offsets aren't they're very inexpensive. Like for example, if you buy something that's worth $100, your offset might be about a couple dollars maximum. So it's very affordable in most cases, and it's just about doing these small actions over time that people love so much, and people are so excited to kind of share with me and my team.
So now that everyone's heard all about what your initiative, if they want to download this, what do they do?
Yes. So we are on Firefox, we are on Chrome, and we're also on Edge. So you can go to shopneutral.io, and then from there you'll be redirected to whatever store you want, and then you can download it. Our Twitter is also @shopneutral, so feel free to check us out there. Let us know what you think. We'd be so happy to get feedback or kind of any advice that you guys have if you download it. We want to make this as good as possible for the everyday person to really hopefully leave a positive impact on our environment.
Well, I know this was one of the issues that my youth council brought up when we were meeting last year, was about the impact of shopping, online shopping in particular, and pre-COVID, one of the students was planning to do a clothing swap. Rather than buying new clothes, we could do a clothing
Yeah.
swap. And then, of course, the pandemic came along, and that ended up not happening. But this is a great way to track your purchases, and if you so choose, you can make an offset and really make a big difference. As you said, it, if each of us do it, it may not seem like a lot individually, but collectively we can make a big difference in raising awareness too. I've been to a hackathon, by the way. I
Awesome.
Yeah, it was something I had no idea what to
Yeah.
expect, and I was blown away by the ideas that the students had. It was incredible.
Hmm.
So that's well, listen, thank you, Jem, and thank you to the folks that have worked with you to develop this too.
Yeah.
It's really neat, and I'll be using it when I do go online to buy stuff, and I hope other people will download it for the very least to know what the environmental impact is. So
Definitely.
um, it's really great. Good luck back at school too.
Yes, thank you so much, Pam. So happy to kind of join you today and be able to kind of share the story of me and Neutral. We really hope to kind of leave a positive impact. Our main goal is just kind of mobilizing as many communities and people to join the fight against climate change. And this is a super easy way just to get your feet a little wet and learn a bit more.